Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 6 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. I'm just down in my mining caves at the moment, getting ready to start mining. I said I was going to mine between last episode and this one, and I did not, so I'm going to do that now. I'll be back after I do it. Alright guys, there is something I wanted to show you about the divining rod. It's recently gotten an update. I'm on Equivalent Exchange 622. You can see if you press G, it'll switch between the different ranges, and the different tiers of the divining rod have different ranges that are available to it. So right now I can check by 3x3 in front of me, and you can see there's not much. But if I check by 16x3, there's still not much. But if I do a long range 64x3, there's diamond somewhere down there. So I might just go mining off in this direction, which I'm kind of breaking the way I branch mine. But you can see it found a couple good things. But that 8,000 number is a good indication of diamonds somewhere within the next 64 blocks, but further than 16. So hopefully it won't be too far to get there, and I will come back after I find my diamond, just make my way down this tunnel here, and hopefully clean up anything that I pass over. Like all this iron that I'm passing up right now, actually. But hopefully I'll get a good number of diamonds out of this run, especially now that I have this awesome divining rod. And look, there it is. Speak of the devil. Diamonds, woot. So this divining rod really makes it pretty good to find diamonds. I mean, it's awesome. And keep in mind, it is using a small amount of fuel. I don't know the exact numbers of the fuel usage, but there is a small amount being used here, so make sure to carry some fuel on you so that you can keep your divining rod going, and you should be able to find a good amount of good stuff downstairs. Alright, back to mining. Like I said, don't usually show this stuff, so I'll be back after I've found something good, or once I'm done mining. Alright, mined for a little bit, got about a dozen diamonds here, that's cool. Thank you very much, divining rod, especially on the 64x64 range. It really makes it pretty cool. A good way to find some diamonds, just go along and click around and you'll find some, and then you can shorten it up to like the 16x16 or whatever, and you'll be in good shape. But now that I'm sufficiently lost in a cave underground, how about I pulse frequency 0, and look, my home. I know, Portal's overpowered, tell me about it, but it's just too cool. Alright, I'm gonna go clean up this inventory junk that I've got, and I'll be back. Alright guys, cooking some good stuff up, still moving awfully slow, as a result of the fact that the Advanced Machines update isn't quite out yet. In order to resolve my speed issues, I'm going to need some more energy. In order to get more energy, I'm going to need to build a couple things. So let's grab ourselves, 4 diamonds, that sounds pretty good. I'm also going to need some copper cabling, so let's grab this stuff. Don't need quite that many, but, it's good to have a healthy handful. And I'm going to go over and grab myself some, where am I at here, with iron dust. I'm going to cook up some iron dust in the electric furnace for a little bit. While I'm at it, I think I already taught my transmutation table about diamonds, didn't I? I thought I did, but it said learned, so good for that. Awesome. All kinds of good stuff in there to transmute diamonds from. N2. I'll be back after I've got a healthy amount of iron here. I'm going to need about 8 of them, cooked into some refined iron, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, let's get to crafting. Now, first off, I'm going to go ahead and convert all this stuff into some cabling. And, yeah, it's a little tricky with the way damage values work. Start behaving, would you? There we go. Hey, much better. I'm going to go ahead and just combine it like so. I'm going to place one of these guys with some redstone around it. That looks good. And I'll collect myself as many energy crystals as I can get. That's going to be 4, by the way. Take a machine block. Those energy crystals all around. Get myself an MFE. It's about time to have some better storage in this place. Now, of course, because I'm getting an MFE, I'm going to need an LV transformer, because I can't start pumping energy directly from this MFE into my machines, otherwise they'll explode, and that would not be cool. So I need 3 copper bars, some cabling, and some wood. Not a problem. No copper bars in here by chance, right? No, of course not. Why would I have copper bars in there? So I'm just going to snag this copper. Did find some more downstairs, by the way, while I was mining, and that's macerating at the moment. So, what did we have here? 3 copper bars and some cables and some wood, right? Excellent. LV transformer. So what happens is, and yeah, I know I did that again. I have to get used to this. Also, by the way, rumor has it this project chainable is getting a little bit of a tweak, and some minor functions might be changed around a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Just about the way inventory works in it, nothing too crazy. So the way power works in industrial craft is as follows. Pretty much, you've got different current values, and if your energy transmission is... Well, let's see, let's explain it like this. Energy is transmitted in discrete packets, so each one of those solar panels up there is producing 1 energy unit per tick, and it's sending 1 packet each separate panel. So this wire right now is transmitting 10 energy units per tick, correct? Right. And that 10 energy units per tick is actually 10 separate individual packets, each 1 energy unit per tick. That's why the tin cable there has no problem keeping up with the demand. Tin cable can't handle a packet bigger than, I think, I want to say 3 or 5 energy units per tick, something like that. So, let's see. Alright, the energy coming in here is a little bit wonky because this bat box is full, so it's not drawing as much as it needs to. So, the MFE is capable of transmitting 128 units per tick, which is considered medium voltage. And the bat box right here is outputting 32 energy units per tick. That's considered low voltage. So pretty much anything below 32 is low voltage. And if I were to plug this MFE in and just start transmitting it directly to these machines, the machines would blow up, and the copper cabling that I have down here would also melt under the pressure. It can't handle such high voltage current running through the cables. That's why we need this LV transformer. It's going to transform the power coming from the MFE into the machines. So let's grab the wrench. Do I have my wrench? I think I did have one. Did I make an electric wrench? I can't even remember. That's how bad I am. Well, let's use our normal wrench for now, and just start rearranging this room a little bit. So I'm going to get this generator out of here for a moment. That's all good. And I've got this bat box. Now what I'm going to do here, probably, knock this cabling off, because we don't want to have any accidental problems. I'm also going to get this cable out of here and this cable out of here. No sense causing any accidental mistakes. So now all the energy stored in my macerator is going to start draining out. That's good. And now let's hook up our MFE. I'm just going to hook this thing up like so. So first off, it's getting powered from the solar panels, and then I'm going to run this copper cabling right to here. And I'm going to reorient this face. So right now this thing's nice and full, right? And the output face is facing away, so that's why the energy is not going from the MFE down into the bat box. And if I reorient the bat box like so, now the energy is going into the MFE and draining out of the bat box. So I'm just conserving energy at the moment, and I'll be back in a minute once it's all done. And while I'm waiting for that stuff to run, why don't I go grab a few pieces of gold? Gold cabling is capable of handling the extra currents that we're talking about right here. So I'm going to grab some rubber and 3 pieces of gold and head over to my crafting table right quick. So I've got my gold cables now, and let's give them some insulation. Now any tier above copper can have multiple levels of insulation. Yeah, whatever. So I just made myself some 2x insulated gold cable by combining the rubber with the blank gold cable twice. So double the rubber, better insulation, a little less energy loss is basically what that adds up to. And the thing is this MFE is going to be outputting 128 energy units per tick. Notice it can store a lot more energy. That's why I decided to start using this guy. And the 2x insulated gold cable here is going to help me transmit that power. And if you're getting a little bit lost on this stuff, you should know that I've got some pretty detailed tutorials on how to use industrial craft power. So if you're a little bit lost on the way power works, go ahead and look at those tutorials. It'll really clear things up for you. So now what I'm going to do is basically connect up my copper cabling like so, and I'm going to place my LV transformer down. And the way the LV transformer works is, get my wrench here to reorient him. The 3-face here is where you want your medium voltage to be coming in, and anything with a 1 dot on the sides, all 4 or 5 other sides, will be low voltage output. So input the high voltage and output the low voltage. Pretty simple and straightforward. Let's just orient this MFE downwards so that the output block is down, and then attach our cabling. And let's watch what happens to the power level once I hook this thing back up. See, it just drained some out, and it started charging up my macerator. So my macerator is now running off of this MFE. My bat box is really unnecessary at this point. So let's cover the flooring back up, make things look pretty again. Oh, how lovely. And I'll just store my bat box and generator in here for now. I'm sure I'll have a use for them later. Maybe I'll go put them where they actually belong. And I think since I'm running off solar power, I might as well sleep through the night before that MFE out there starts running low on juice. Yep, doing pretty good. Now this solar power is just not going to cut it for me forever with, in terms of power generation. So I'm thinking I might need to build another way to generate industrial craft power in this episode. Yeah, I think that's probably a wise idea. There's a bunch of different generators available out there, and I have an idea of one that I want to get going. It does require a couple different things, but I think it's going to work out for me. It's a new build. I've never used this type of generator before, but another Let's Player named Shadow Dragon, who I have linked in my channel, so if you guys haven't had a chance to check him out, definitely recommend it. He built a pretty nice hydroelectric plant using red power and industrial craft. And that's what I'm going to kind of do something similar to in this episode. So let's get ready to build what we need to build to do this awesome little thing. So I'm going to build a pretty basic system here real quick of water mills. And as you can see, the water mill recipe is as shown. I need some wood and some wooden sticks and a generator. And I get 2 water mills for each generator I make. So hey, let's go for broke and make, I'm going to make 6 water mills right now. And it's pretty straightforward to make a water mill. Let's see, I'm going to need... there we go. 2 furnaces, that should be good. I'm also going to need 2 batteries. And I'm going to need, let's see, upgrade these guys here. Where's my iron? Iron furnace. Becomes a generator. And now I can just simply surround my generators with sticks. I hope I'm remembering this recipe correctly. Yeah, there we go. 4 water mills. And I've got this other generator here, so let's get that guy going as well. Ta-da! 6 water mills. Perfect. Now I'm going to need some red power goodies. And in order to get started with red power, I'm going to need some clay. I don't have any, so let's go on a hunt for clay. I'm going to go looking around in the water nearby. Hopefully I can find some, especially if I can encounter a swamp biome. I think there's probably some clay nearby somewhere. Why don't I go out in the world and look for it, and I'll be back once I've found some. Here we go. Right outside the back of my house, encountered some clay. So let's go digging around underwater here. Probably not the best of ideas. I'm going to start drowning. I always forget I don't have one of those infinite breath things. There's about 3 or 4 different items in my mods that give infinite amounts of breath, and this early in the game I don't have any of them. So I always forget that I don't have them and start drowning. So cue Direwolf drowning any minute now. Alright, that's enough brick for now. Let's get out of here. See? Almost in. And I'll meet you back at my house. Let's see. Somebody told me I can hit this with P to pulse it. Did that work? Well, I guess it did, didn't it? Nice. Back home. Let's start cooking up some bricks. And hey, this guy's almost done. Let's start cooking these guys back up as well. Got a little copper to cook, but that's fine. I'll be back once I've got some bricks. And alright, use my transmutation table here to speed up the cooking process. Looks like the clay and bricks are pretty similar in EMC value, just like cobble and stone. So let's get our bricks, and then we're going to go craft them like so. Just place them all around the outer edge of the crafting table. And you've got the alloy furnace, a neat little item, part of red power. Let's go place it in place of where this furnace used to be. I don't need that guy anymore, right? And I'm going to grab some coal and deposit some of this stuff. You can go in there with that stuff. Coal, 28 should be plenty for now. And let's also grab some copper and tin, I want to say it is. So there's some tin. I don't quite need that much, I'm sure. And I threw some copper in here earlier. So what is it? 3 and 1, I want to say? Yeah, I think that's the recipe. So 3 copper and 1 tin is going to get me a brass ingot. Awesome. 4 of them, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to cook up a little bit more of that stuff. And I'll be back once that's done and be prepared for another item to cook up. Or, yeah, I did that wrong. And now I'm going to take these brass ingots and combine them with glass to get pneumatic tubes. Pneumatic tubes are a way to transfer items using red power, and they work pretty differently from buildcraft pipes. If you're familiar with the way buildcraft pipes work, yes, they get items from point A to point B, but pneumatic tubes are fundamentally different. Okay, the next item up for crafting is going to be 8 coal and 8 sand. And when we combine those in an alloy furnace, we're going to get a silicon boule. Before I get that, unfortunately I need to use some diamonds for the next build. I need to upgrade my saw. I have that nice little iron saw back there, but I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to a diamond handsaw. This is what I'm going to need to use the silicon boule. I basically combine these two in a crafting table, and I get 16 silicon wafers, and my diamond handsaw takes a little bit of damage. And what I'm going to have to do now is go ahead and take these silicon wafers and get myself a small amount of power generation. I think I'm going to go with solar power right now from Red Power 2. So let me go get the solar panel crafting recipe real quick. If I were to open up my neat little guy here and ask for the solar panel recipe, it's about 8 of these blue doped wafers surrounding a blue alloy ingot. So how do you get a blue alloy ingot? It's just a piece of silver and I want to say 4 nickelite. That's going to get me 1 blue alloy ingot. So let's ask for 2 of those while I'm at it. There we go. And I could probably do with some more of these silicon wafers as well. There we are. Now the next step is to get these silicon wafers to be blue doped wafers, and that's simply combining the silicon wafer with some blue nickelite stuff. So we're going to let this cook up for a little bit, and I'll be right back. And let's see if I can get away with 1 solar panel's worth of production here. So I'm just going to knock these guys out of here for now, get this blue doped wafer out of here. I've got some blue alloy ingots, but I'm going to need 3 more of these guys. So you can see nickelite quickly becomes an expensive commodity. You're going to want a lot of that stuff for all the Red Power 2 Bluetricity stuff that you're going to be building. So let's grab some more of those blue alloy ingots, and I think I've got some wool in here somewhere, don't I? Yes. I had a world full of sheep, so it's a good thing I had some wool, otherwise that would be a little embarrassing. So let's get prepared here. We want to place some wool on the sides, and 3 of these, I put it in the wrong crafting table. Ha! So I believe it's something like this. Wool, and this is a temporary recipe for your blue alloy wires, but that'll get you what you need. Now let's combine one of these guys and surround it by the blue doped wafers. We'll find out if 1 solar panel is enough. And finally, I want to get a battery box, and that guy is crafted with 4 batteries, 3 iron and a blue alloy ingot. And these batteries are crafted using tin and copper and nickelite. Like I said, lots of nickelite. Let's grab some more of that stuff. Yeah, that looks good. And I believe I've got some tin and copper on me, right? So I'm going to need 4 sets of nickelite. That's cool. And copper. And I forgot tin, didn't I? See why I used the automatic crafting table? There we go. I have a stack of tin. Not going to need nearly that much, but always good to have a little extra on me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And my inventory is awfully a mess. I'll be right back. Oh, I look forward to the point where I get an alchemy bag. Alright, so what was I building now? That's right. One of these guys here, some iron like so. Wood. And my batteries will get me a battery box. And this is an energy storage unit in Red Power 2. So now I've got a solar panel, and I've got an energy storage unit, and I've got some blue alloy wire, so I can start powering stuff. Now I need to get myself a couple machines in Red Power 2, so let's get ready to build some of the stuff we need for that. Alright, let's see. I'm going to need 4 machines, and the foundation for all 4 of these machines is going to be a piston. So let's get piston ready here. Going to need some of this, some iron, some redstone, and some pistons. There we go. Looking good. Let's throw this in here along with my iron. That should be good for now too. Trying to conserve inventory space as best I can. The first item I'm going to have to make for Red Power 2 items this is now is an item called the deployer. You guys who watched my last season know what a deployer does, but for those of you who are new, a deployer deploys items. Makes sense. It has a little inventory, and whatever item you put in there will be a simulated right-click effect. So whatever goes in there is right-clicked when it receives a redstone signal. So if it's a block, it places it. But if it's an empty bucket, it picks up water or lava if there's water or lava in front of the deployer. That's something important to keep in mind. Next up, I'm going to build a filter, which is created like so. But I need actually 2 of these guys, and I'm going to need some red-doped wafers, which are crafted as shown here. 1 silicon wafer and 4 redstone will give me 1 red-doped wafer. So let me get one real quick. Looking good. Didn't want to put that silicon boule in there. Sorry about that. And let's see. Red-doped wafer. How do I even have this thing? Let's get this guy converted down. Much better. Red-doped wafer goes on the bottom, and a piston there. A couple pieces of gold, and I've got myself a filter. A filter can pull items out of an inventory, and you can tell it exactly what type of items should be pulled out of an inventory, and it won't pull anything else out. So let's grab that other red-doped wafer. Come back here, you guys. Convenient inventory is not friends with my old buddy, the damage-valued items. And that's looking good. So I got a second filter now. I've got 2 of those. Perfect. And I need 1 more item, I think. I need to upgrade one of these filters to a retriever. And a retriever is like a second-tier version of the filter. The filter can pull an item out of an inventory that's adjacent to, but the retriever can pull items out of any inventory that's along the entire pneumatic tube line. So if you've got 6 chests hooked up to a retriever, using all kinds of pneumatic tubes, it can pull an item out of any one of those chests. So this is the tier 2 version of the retriever. And if we look at the filter here, we can see that the recipe is as shown for the retriever. Filter in the middle. I'm going to need a piece of leather, some brass ingots, which you guys saw me make a minute ago. Ooh, I need 2 ender pearls. Goodness. Well, let's get ready. First off, I need to get one of these. And I know I had good piece of leather in there. I'm gonna have to go get myself some ender pearls. Luckily, I have Equivalent Exchange to help me out. And I was also gonna need some brass, wasn't I? So now that I've got my blue alloy ingot, let's get ourselves ready to make some brass. Let's put this in here for now. That'll get some brass cooking up, and meanwhile I'm going to run over to this little guy and see how I can get myself an ender pearl. Yeah, nickelite counts as fuel, so that's not going to help me out too much. How about some silver? That get me what I need. Oh yeah, there we go. I can get 1 ender pearl from 2 silver. Good to know. Woot. So that's a good transmutation recipe to keep in mind there, guys. Ender pearls are worth twice as much as silver. So how's my brass ingot situation coming along? Perfect. So what was that recipe again? We need a piece of leather. Those guys there. That stuff. One of these. That thingy. And, oh, I don't have any iron on me, do we? That's a problem. What a mess I just made. Let's try this guy once more. Filter in the middle there, and iron on the sides. Perfect, a retriever. Exactly what I wanted. Alright, let's get to building. Alright, hopefully I've got enough of what I want to do. So let's just sneak out the back wall here. I'm going to clear out a little area. And let's pop into where my MFE is. So there's my MFE, storing power from the sun. Thank you very much, buddy. And how's my inventory situation? Not bad. So what I basically want to do here is run this little power plant that I'm about to build into this MFE. So let's see here. Trying to exactly plan how I want this to be worked out. Give me a few minutes and I'm going to think through my design and I'll be back once I'm ready with it. Okay, so let's give this a try here. I'm going to go ahead and just sneak over to there real quick and get myself a bucket full of water. Remember I built an unlimited water source over here? Yeah, I'm going to build a similar one right over here. But not exactly the same, per se. I'm going to build it right here. Why not? That looks like a good spot. Sure. And I'm going to place one bucket of water on this side. Sneaking back through. And one bucket of water on this side. And that's going to give me a nice infinite water source. And in front of that infinite water source, I'm going to place my deployer. And let's... Ooh, I need a screwdriver. Do I have any iron on me? Of course, why would I? No, no iron at all. So let's sneak inside. Grab myself a piece of iron. And a stick. Something like that. There we go. Screwdriver is to red power, as wrench is to build craft, or industrial craft. It's basically the item with which you manipulate red power items. So there we go. So now we have this item, remember? And I said when you have items inside the deployer, and you apply a redstone signal to it, which I don't have any redstone on me, do I? Nope, but I can make this happen real quick. There we go. Okay. And if you notice the sky flashing, that's a slight bug with Portal Gun. I'm just going to close those portals for now. Notice when I applied a redstone signal to my deployer, it picked up water. Cool. So now I want to place down that filter behind this thingy. So let's place that like so, and reorient the filter so that the tubing is coming out the back. So the filter, I'm going to tell it, hey, if you've got an empty bucket inside this thing, and let's build ourselves an empty bucket real fast, and you receive a redstone signal, pull it out and shoot it out the other side. So let's see what happens if I place one pneumatic tube here, okay? And let's also craft ourselves another empty bucket using that tin that I've got. There we go. Empty bucket goes in. So now, when I apply this redstone signal to the filter, it's going to pull out the empty bucket, right? It didn't pull out the full water bucket. If we apply another redstone signal, it's not going to ever do it. And as it's starting to get dark out, maybe I should go sleep through the night. Much better. Now, back to building. Now all I really need to do here is pretty much set something up like so. Right here, I'm going to place another one of these neat machines called the Retriever. And what I'm going to do is face him like about, I don't know, right about so, like that. And then I'll get my screwdriver and face him in that direction. And in front of that direction, I'm going to place... No, wait, I want him to be the other way around. There we go. And then I'm going to place right there. So now the Retriever is going to pull from any inventories in front of it and place whatever it gets right in the deployer. And what am I going to ask for in the Retriever? Empty buckets. But you'll notice the Retriever has this power line here. This is what I needed the solar panels for. I need to give this Retriever a little bit of power. So let's make sure to get that taken care of now. So in order to run this power, I just need to get my blue alloy wire and run it up. Let's put a power plant right here. And just like redstone wire, and in case you guys haven't seen me use redstone wire in my previous series, you'll get to see it a lot in this one, you can run your blue alloy wire up blocks and along the sides and all kinds of nifty-purdy stuff. I'm going to hook that up to the battery box that I've got right here. To my battery box, I'm going to hook up that one solar panel that I made. I might want to make another solar panel at one point. Maybe I'll go do that real quick, just to make sure I have enough power in here. Alright, small amounts of power starting to go into our battery box. And that power will eventually bleed its way down into my Retriever. The way red power works is instead of having input and output sides, it tries to keep all your battery sources pretty much evened out. So this battery box's power line should be balanced and even with this retriever. And once we've built up enough power here, this thing will be running pretty smoothly. Now all we need to do, in order to get this thing going, is place down our pneumatic tubing. Just like that. So what's going to happen now is we place our water mills on top of the pneumatic tubing. Neat. So a water mill generates power in two ways. It can either just be sitting inside a pool of water, and if it is, it'll collect a very small amount of energy units. Really small. However, if you place a bucket full of water inside your water mill, so let's go grab a bucket full of water, shall we? Probably the bottom that it goes in. Yeah, see, there we go. It filled up a little bit of a thing. And let's get some more water here. There we go. And I'm pulling out from the wrong side. I need to be pulling out of the middle of that pool. There we are. See? And finally that. Okay, good. Let's put our bucket back in here for a moment. So now, if I were to get my energy reader, and I'm going to need some cabling, I'm going to go with copper cable for now. There might be a small amount of power loss as a result of using copper cable, but it's a little bit unavoidable. Let's go grab our energy reader too and see what kind of energy we're pulling in here. I might have to go with something a little bit more energy efficient. I bet I can use tin cable. Yes, I can use tin. Water mills generate less energy units per tick than tin has as a maximum, so I should be able to use tin here and not have any energy loss. That will be good. So let's run this guy straight over here. And if you shift click on most machines, it won't open the inventory, and it will instead just allow you to do what I just did. There we go. And what's our energy reading? 2 energy units per tick. So this full water mill is now generating 2 energy units per tick, meaning that the combined 6 will generate 12 energy units per tick, significantly more than my current solar panels. All 10 of these are only generating 10. So, a good number of stuff. So all we got to do now is start applying some redstone currents here. So let's knock this guy off and see what we can do. And I'm going to knock off the grass here too, because I want you guys to see these things flowing through. I'm going to craft a couple more empty buckets, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's see how we did over here. Yes, good. Got our blue doped wafer, and let's grab a couple more empty buckets. That looks good. I'm going to craft myself another solar panel for red power. 2 is probably maybe even a little bit of overkill, but no biggie. Maybe while I'm here, I'm going to grab myself 1 ultra low current cable. Stack, that is. So see, we've got lots of juice in our battery box now, and that's keeping this thing pretty well covered. Alright, so let's start building one more item we're going to need here. I'm going to take some smooth stone and throw it into an electric furnace. Get this iron out. And 1 smooth stone, when you cook it, is going to break down into a stone wafer. And let's get a couple more of those. Alright, I'm going to take my 10 stone wafers here, and I'm going to build another item, yet again, from red power. And this item is called the timer. And that guy is a pretty complicated recipe, as are a lot of the circuits in red power. So let's do something like this. Timer, I'm going to place it in here. So I'm going to need 3 of these items. And if I place my stone wafers with 3 redstone, I get those stone wires. So that's how you make those things. I'm also going to need a couple of these things, and they're crafted like so. That's going to get me my stone anodes. Those are those things right there. And finally, I'm going to need 1 of these, which is just a stick. Do I have a stick in here? No, I don't. Really starting to have inventory issues already. Stick combined with wafer equals stone cathode, and I'll just drop these sticks on the ground for now. Maybe even the sand can go away. Oh, I did have sticks in my inventory. See, I'm a noob sometimes. My problem is it's sometimes tricky to see what I'm doing while I'm talking, but that's no biggie. And then I can take this redstone torch, place a stone on top, and this thing down here, and that gets me a stone pointer. Okay, so I think I have everything I need. The stone pointer goes in the middle, cathode on the bottom, these two anodes down here, these three wires up here, and these wafers up there. Hooray! Now I just need one more little component. Let's see, do I have some copper? I do. I'm going to take 3 copper here and combine them with 4 redstone each. There we go. And those 3 red alloy ingots are used to make redstone wiring. Redstone wiring works just like redstone, but not only can you place it on the ground, you can also place it up walls and around corners. It does all kinds of cool stuff. Redstone wiring, once you use it, you'll never go back to regular old redstone again. I'm just going to run this wiring right across my 3 machines. And I'm going to place a timer that I just made, and the timer will run a pulse every X number of seconds. So right now, I'm going to leave it at the 2-second interval part. And if we sneak down here, you'll see what's happening is that water is being put into the buckets inside this little guy right here. Okay, so the water is being picked up and put in the bucket, and the bucket is being sent to the first available inventory. The retriever is then pulling the empty buckets out of the nearest available inventory that has an empty bucket in it. Am I doing this backwards? Yeah, I am. This thing's supposed to be, hold on a second. And I'm going to go ahead and put down this lever here. This thing's working totally backwards. There we go. This is supposed to be a full water bucket. So now I've set it up so that the filter only pulls out full water buckets from the deployer. So the deployer will fill up a water bucket, the filter will pull out a full water bucket and send it along the pneumatic tubes, and then the retriever will pull out the empty bucket. Let's go make it daytime real fast so we can watch this happen. I forgot I had set up an empty bucket just to test with. So let's try this out now. I put down a lever there so I can turn the system on and off whenever I want. So every 2 seconds it'll pulse. And I better replace this pneumatic tube now. So notice that the water bucket went in and it pulled out the empty bucket. Water bucket goes in, pulls out the empty bucket. The next one, a water bucket's going to stay in there, and now it's going to go to the next available inventory. Ta-da! And what happens is when there's 2 inventories equally distant away from each other, it'll randomly, or I think evenly distribute. Yeah, that's it. It should evenly distribute. So now all these water mills should start generating power for me. All I gotta do is put some tin cabling up top. There we go. So once all these water mills have some water in them, I'm still waiting on this guy at the end here to get some. He should soon though. We can get our EU reader ready. There we go. 12 energy units per tick. Exactly what I would have expected. And now what's going to happen here is these guys are just going to hang out downstairs and do everything they can to try and get these buckets of water into the machines. And once all the machines are full of water buckets, as you can see they are now, so there's a water bucket inside each machine, and they have no room for any more water buckets. It's just going to hang out and not do anything. And it'll wait until there's more inventory space. So like I said, the pneumatic tubes are pretty intelligent about how they route their pipes. You can see that water bucket was just starting to come out, it realized it had nowhere to go, and it went back in. Now the filter's not taking any out, it's just going to wait until there's a water bucket spot available somewhere. See, that one had one available, and it's intelligently routing them until it gets them to where they need to go. And we just created a 12 energy unit per tick power plant. If we wanted to, we could expand this guy a little bit. It wouldn't be hard. And we could probably get a bit more power out of it. And we might wind up doing that in the future. I might even just, double the width of this thing. Put 3 more on this side and 3 more on that side. Then we'd be getting 24 energy units per tick. Pretty good. And guys, this feels like a pretty good wrapping up point for this episode. So this is Direwolf20's signing off on episode 6 of my Season 3 Let's Play series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned next time. We'll do some more cool builds. Take it easy.